or because a family became attached to the local vine and kept it around to make wine for themselves. The same thing happened all over Italy, and many of the country's most renowned winemakers came from families that grew such grapes and made wine simply to have something to drink throughout the year. While wine has been made and traded in Italy since before the time of the Greeks and Romans, Italian wine as we know it today is a relatively new idea. In his seminal 1980 book, Vino, Brentan Anderson described his first trip to Italy in the 1950s, where he drank local wines poured from reusable bottles in nearly every region. What he tasted was simple but good, and when he came across a bad bottle, it was so inexpensive that he couldn't get upset about it. Starting around the 1960s, Italian wine began to change rapidly, and in some places it became part of large-scale businesses aided by technological advancements in bottling and temperature control. Cheap Chianti, Verdicchio in fish and amphora-shaped bottles, and sweet Lambrusco poured into the United States. At the same time, Italian winemakers started to think through ways to bring attention to the country's best bottles, formalizing a quality scale modeled after the system used in France. Italian wines made in a certain place with approved grapes and techniques were granted a quality designation, setting them apart from mass-produced wines. What came to be called the DOC system soon became recognized for all its faults. Why was this wine elevated to a higher status over that one? Why was this grape allowed in this wine but not in that one? Some of the most famous Italian wines of the 20th century, like Sassicaia from Tuscany, skirted DOC regulations by labeling their premium product Vino da Tavola, table wine. Yet, in between cheap wine and rarefied bottles, most Italians were drinking whatever was made around their town. Even today, Italian wine is local wine, with each region making it in their own way. The biggest shift in the past 3 decades has been the focus on native grapes. While wine grapes likely originated in Western Asia, vines spread and mutated across Italy. There are more than 590 official grapes in the Italian government database, but the true number could easily be double the official count. It's Italy's grape biodiversity that makes it possible to make wines like the sparkling Pallagrello Bianco we tasted with the members of Vitica. In 2007, on our first research trip together, we arrived in Naples with flip phones and driving directions printed out from MapQuest. While the trip focused on a handful of regions in southern Italy, we were researching the wine chapters of our cookbook, A16 Food Plus Wine. It was long enough to visit an experimental vineyard in Ciro, meet families in Avellino transitioning from being farmers who sold grapes to winemakers, and encounter professionals who left careers in Milan and returned home to make wine with the grapes their grandparents grew. Along the way, we bought bags of blood oranges and sampled fresh ricotta and mozzarella in nearly every town we visited. Early in the trip, we met Bruno de Conciliis, a winemaker from Cilento in the southern part of Campania, the region surrounding Naples. We told Bruno that we would drive from Naples to his winery, but the idea of 2 Americans driving through the city worried him. To Bruno, driving in Naples requires staying liquid. A driver shifts to the left or right, and everyone else shifts too without tapping the brakes. The same isn't so for Americans, he said. We drive like a solid mass, and if we don't stay between the lines, we cause a collision. To prevent disaster, he took the train into Naples and met us at the rental agency, where we gladly handed him the keys to our beat-up silver Opel. As he drove, he told us how he pumped jazz into the cellar to help his wines relax. The jazz may have been more for his benefit, but it fit with Bruno's goal to create wine in a personal way, not like wineries that made their wine taste the same no matter the year. If you force a wine in a particular direction, it will become angry with you, he said. You lose its life if you control it too much. I don't want to make Coca-Cola. The reality is that Italy makes about 1/6 of the wine in the world, and there are not enough Italians to drink it all. Fortunately, Italy has America. 30% of all imported wine in the United States is Italian.